Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show. This is the place where we share ideas and strategies on how to advance in your life, business, and career by using the knowledge and skills you already have. I believe that the true power to overcome obstacles and rise above our adversity is drawn from within ourselves. Developing belief in self and building self-confidence is an absolute must for every person who wants to live an impactful life. I'm your host, Isaac Wambua, and I'm honored to be your coach today. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Isaac Wambua, and I'm excited to be here today. Today's topic is growing yourself instead of changing yourself. Why you should grow yourself instead of changing yourself. Now, getting this out of the way, change is good. Change is inevitable. We are all going to go through change. You start when you are young, then you grow old, and you start as a new leader, you become an experienced leader, you start as a new entrepreneur, then you become an experienced entrepreneur. So change is inevitable, but there's a lot of talk out there about change, and people say you either change or you die. I think that's very extreme. People say there's no pain. If there's no pain, there's no gain. You have to go through pain so you can gain. There's some truth in that as well. But here's what I know from my experience and from the people that I interact with on a daily basis. And I interact with a lot of people. I have the privilege of working with leaders, executives, business owners, entrepreneurs, really coaching and speaking and training in all kinds of things, basically in the business circles. And people don't like change. That's one thing that I know. We know that it's inevitable, but we don't like change. And there are three main reasons why people don't like change. Number one, change is uncomfortable. Every time you go through a change, it's going to make you uncomfortable. Just yesterday, I decided to go for a run. And just so you know, when winter comes along, I usually don't go for runs. And this time, I live in Kansas City, so the weather has not been that stable. So yesterday I decided to go for a run, and it was going to be a very mild run, but I was enjoying it so much, I decided to go for a full-blown 5 miles, really at full speed, and I felt good after that. But today, as we speak, I'm struggling to walk because my body has gone through a drastic change. So my mind might have been okay with it, but my body is telling me something different. So today I decided to go just very easy on the workout. When it comes to mental change, changing the way you look at things, and now you want to look at them differently because it's necessary, you're going to have a hard time as well. So change is uncomfortable. If you have a small business and you want to grow, most likely you're going to research on the risks and what's needed. Just the other day, I was talking to someone who is running a small advertising agency, and he wants to grow. Basically, we were talking about business on how I can help him. And he told me that one of his biggest fears is growing so big, and now he has to give up the control that he has, being able to delegate tasks, and he's not even sure whether people are going to do those tasks the way he expects them to be done. So him and I, we are going to come up with a plan and get people on board and train them until he gets to a point whereby he is comfortable. So change is very uncomfortable. And that's why if you focus on change alone, you're going to be frustrated. Most likely you're not going to be able to keep up with it for a long time. So that's number one. Change is uncomfortable. The second reason why you need to focus on growth instead of change is because change by itself is not sustainable. Just by itself. If you just focus on the change, I mean, how long can you just keep up with it? Let's go back to me wanting to run. I'm trying to cut back on some weight and get physically healthy. So I ran yesterday. If today I was to wake up and say, I'm going to run for another 5 miles, and because we believe in growth, then the day after I want to go for 6 miles and 7 miles, how long is my body going to be able to keep up with that? Most likely not. I'm going to hurt myself. So change by itself without anything else in it is not sustainable. Okay. And the third one, which is my favorite, change is not natural for us as human beings. The thing that's natural for us is wanting to grow. We are wired to grow. But when it comes to change, it's not natural. We are living beings. Trees are living beings. Plants and flowers, all those are living beings. So let's take an example of a tree. Of course, it starts out as a seed, and the seed is on the ground, and it sprouts, becomes a seedling, and it grows to a feet, 5 feet, 20 feet, as however tall the tree is. That breed of a tree is supposed to grow. So you can't imagine a tree sitting down and going like, how tall do I want to grow? um, what kind of a change do I want to go through? I need to plan the change, how much I'm going to grow tomorrow. No, the tree doesn't think about that. All it does is to know that I'm supposed to grow. And if the conditions, the environment, the soil, there's enough water, there's enough nutrients for the tree to grow, it's going to grow as fast as it can. So the same thing with human beings. Change is not natural. That's why it makes us very uncomfortable. So if you really want to sustain it, you have to go with growth. We are wired to grow. We want to become a better person. Pretty much every single year, and I get a chance to talk to people at the beginning of the year and throughout the year, really talking about their goals. But mostly in the beginning of the year, people talk about New Year resolutions. And very consistently, one of the things that come up all the time, people say, I want to become a better person. I want to be a better father, a better husband, a better dad. I want to be a better friend, a better business person, a better employee, a better boss. So all those things happen. They are trying to better themselves. They're trying to become a better version of themselves. We want to become someone. We want to become an advanced entrepreneur. I want to become a better speaker. I want to become a better presenter. I want to become a better podcast host. So we all want to become a better version of ourselves. We also want to do more things that give us what we want, more things that make a bigger difference, more things that grow our companies and our organizations, more things that make an impact in the society. We want to do more things. And that's why, going back to being physically healthy, we go to the gym, we take a walk, we do yoga, because we are trying to be physically healthy so we can spend more time with our kids. We can run after, we can play with them. We can go camping. We can do the things that we love. We can get involved in sports. So we want to do more of the things that add value to us and the things that make a difference in our lives. But we also want to have more things. We want to drive a better car. We want to have a better house. I want to have better clothes. I want to have the freedom to buy a pair of a shoe if I want to do that. Just last night I met with a friend for dinner. I want to be able to have money to afford that dinner, to be able to buy it for someone. And I know this because there's a time I didn't have money. So I know how it feels not to have the things that you want. So we want to become a better version of ourselves so we can do the things that we want to do and have the things that we want to have. And that's why we should focus on growth instead of change. If you focus on change, it's going to be short term. And that's why a lot of people don't sustain their New Year resolutions basically past March. And if you stick with them by June, probably you are like 50%, and by July you're not even talking about those goals. So that's why we don't focus on goals, we focus on growth. There's a book I read a while back called Atomic Habits, and it's by James Clear, and it talks about you becoming the person who does the things that you want to do. If I want to be physically healthy, how about I become the person who is health conscious, someone who believes that working out is good, and I just do it. It becomes second nature to me. So growth is going to be to serve you better than just trying to go through change. So let's talk about growth, since we've agreed that growth is better than change. And of course, you want to go through change. So if you grow yourself in the areas that matter to you, you're going to go through change without much hassle, and you're going to be able to get to the results that you want to get. Okay. So here are three areas that you need to grow yourself and grow your team, grow your organization. Number one is mindset, how you look at things. Mindset is key, because your mind controls, basically determines your feelings, and how you feel determines how you act, basically your behavior, and how you behave determines your actions, and your actions determine your results. That's it. It's that simple. How you think. That's why we say, as you think, you become. You become what you think about most of the times. You become what you think about most of the times. And it's through your thoughts that you feel something, you feel a certain way, you feel like you are energized, you are motivated, you are inspired, and then you act a certain way. You act as someone who is inspired and motivated. And when you act that way, of course, you're going to get some kind of results. Okay, so you need to work on your mindset towards leadership, mindset towards communication, towards your team, towards entrepreneurship, towards educating and developing yourself. So work on the mindset. And the second area is your skills. You work on your skills. A skill basically is something that can be learned. So it doesn't matter how tough you think the skill is to learn, it's possible that it can be learned. There are some things that you'll never be able to do at a high level if you don't learn the skill. So enhance your skills, sharpen your skills, depending on what you're focusing on. In my area that I play in, which is on training, coaching, and speaking, I have to work on my skills, on how to present, my skills on how to coach, my skills on how to train, how to gather the materials, how to put a presentation like this together, how to get out there and network with people, how to talk to people. So there are skills that go with that. And beyond that, we have negotiation skills, we have sales skills. Okay, yes, we sell our products and services. So skills is one area that you really want to grow in. If you're a stay-home mom or you don't work and you are retired, like a friend of mine, Fred, I met with him yesterday. He is a retired president of a community college. So what he does, he volunteers in the community, but I believe he has had to develop, to grow his skills on how to galvanize people together, on how to get people to rally behind a cause, whether it's a nonprofit that he is supporting or whether it's going to be the school board. Those are skills that are relevant to him. So whichever area that you are focusing on, you need to develop skills in that particular area. And the third area that you need to grow in is your network. And I'm talking about the relationships that you build. If you are a leader somewhere of a team of 550, 500, 1,000, it doesn't matter. You're going to build, you'll have to build your network. You need to have a network of executives like you, leaders like you, so you can learn from each other. You're potentially going to join a mastermind or a peer group so you can learn from other people as well. If you are in sales, you need to get out there and sell. Potentially you're going to go to meetings like Chamber of Commerce or whichever networking meetings that are available in your local area, and get to network with people. So your network is going to make a big difference. Those relationships that you build. If you are married like me and you have kids, potentially you are going to hang out with people who have kids, so you can learn from each other. My wife and I, we just went through a class called Directing with Dignity, and just very eye-opening on how kids think and how they act, and just try to direct them instead of just screaming at them. So I'm learning, and I learned a lot from parents who have gone through that program, and I learned from the instructor. Actually, the guy who developed that program was our instructor. So you need to enhance your networking skills. And let me tell you on the benefit of building your network. I have been in business for 8 years now, full time. And when I started out, I had a very small network. I used to be an engineer, just a very small network. Used to leave my house, go to work, then come home. Then on the weekends, I would go to church and just hang out with a few people. But as soon as I got into business, I realized that for me to be able to grow my business, make money, and take care of my bills, and take care of myself, then I had to build my network. I had a very small network. It started out, going to small networking meetings. Then I joined some bigger ones, and before I knew it, I had a big network. So I have a network in Kansas City where I live, a huge network, and I have network across the country and even outside the country. And I keep on meeting these people that we have similar interest, or we in terms of what we do, or in terms of the people that we are trying to serve in the market. Some people that we don't have really similar interest, but we connect because we are human beings and we like to connect. So I've built my network to a point where really about 20 to 30% of my business comes from referrals, whereby someone hears, talks to someone who needs a coach or a trainer or a speaker, and they think about me because they know me and I am in their network. So if not for anything else, if money is a driver for you, then just build your network. If you want to make a difference in the world, in your community and in other parts of the world, then build your network. You'll get connected. Just yesterday, I met with a guy called Fred, and I met Fred about 3 weeks ago. I was speaking, at an event, a local event. It's a Rotary Club that I was speaking at, and him and I connected, and we said, let's meet for coffee. And we met yesterday. I shared with him some of the things that I'm doing with the youth. There's a program that I do for free in my community for the youth. And he said, you know what, there are two people that I really want you to meet, and I know them. There's the president of a community college. I'm going to introduce you to him. And there's a high school principal that I'm going to connect you with him, because he is looking into a program like that. Okay, you see, it's through my network, stepping out there to speak, which again, I was connected by a friend of mine who is in my network, connected me to that particular organization. I went to speak, then I met Fred. Fred is going to connect me to the president of this college and then the principal of the high school. That's how we build our network. So you have to build your network. Of course, you want to be strategic about it, but you don't want to overthink it, asking yourself, what am I going to get out of it? If you care about people, which I believe you do, that's why you are listening to this podcast, then you should build your network with the intention of adding value to people. So again, the lesson today is why you should focus on growth instead of change. And we said change is uncomfortable. Change is unnatural. It's not sustainable if it's just done by itself. But again, you need to focus on growth. 3 main areas that you want to grow in. Number one, you want to grow in your mindset, you want to grow in your skills, and you want to grow in your network, basically your relationships. So my challenge to you is just step out there and grow yourself, develop your skills, develop your mindset, and develop your network, and sit back and watch and see how much difference it's going to make in your life and in other people's lives. So thank you for being here today, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye for now.
That was Isaac Wamboa, founder of Dynamo Methods. And if what he and his guests talked about sounds like a problem you're having too, stop by dynamomethods.com to find out more. You can book a complimentary 45-minute virtual training for your team. Or you can learn more about group workshops on team leadership, sales, communication, and much more. Don't wait. Let Isaac show you how to step into greatness today.